Peace fam, it's your girl Kia aka the Concrete Rose, and I'm back with another video. So as you guys can tell by the title, today I'm going to be talking about navigating tough relationships with family members while on this healing journey. But first I wanted to address my absence from YouTube for like a month. The last video I posted was like a month ago, and really the reasoning for me stepping away is because, you guys, I can be really critical of myself. I can be very critical. I've been very open about how I struggle from perfectionism and things of that nature. And so because of the content that I post, because a lot of what I do is just speaking about how I feel and, creating these visual diaries and just showing you guys where I am along my journey of self-discovery, a lot of times I feel like I can get repetitive with just over-analyzing myself, picking over myself and stuff like that. And because I'm not in therapy, I feel like therapy, it gave me an outlet to do that. It gave me an outlet to really overanalyze myself, pick over myself, and then my therapist would kind of come in with those words of support and wisdom and encouragement. And it's then I could come to YouTube and better describe what I was going through, or better describe how I was feeling. But without therapy, it's just girl, I'm just winging this shit, and I'm just speaking how I feel. But sometimes I know that I need to dial it back a little bit and not be so just picking over myself and things like that. So I had to step back and just ground back into myself, love on myself, give myself some grace and compassion, and just giving myself space to just feel and cry it out. Because something I do is that I am very logical with my emotion. Literally I'm doing it right now. I can go on a rant about all the things that I do that I need to work on, that I need to fix, and it's just chill. So yeah, I had to step back from YouTube because of that. But we just had Thanksgiving, and now we're moving into Christmas. Okay, so a lot of us are dealing with holidays and family members, family members that we probably don't have to deal with on a daily basis, or maybe some family members that we do, and the holidays are just kind of making us a little bit more sentimental. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that and just throw my little 2 cents out there, about how I personally am navigating through the holidays, and things that I'm doing to really care for my mental wellness, because that is always at the forefront of everything that I do. I want to move in a wellness type of way, you feel me? So let's talk about it, right? Family members that we have rocky relationships with. Something that I realized is that, and something that we always hear, is that misery loves company. Misery loves company. And I can tell you right now, I had the most smoothest relationships with family, with friends, with these people in my life, when I had no boundaries. I had no respect for myself. I did not know myself. I did not know the light that I was carrying, and as you begin to heal, as you begin to about yourself and become a little bit more self-aware, you start to realize like, hey, I'm accepting this over here from this person. I'm accepting this from, this person. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. And so then you start to set boundaries. But the thing with this is that people who don't have boundaries for themselves are not going to be able to respect your boundaries, because a person can only meet you with the same love and respect that they have for themselves. And so a lot of times, especially like when we're going to these family events and these holiday events and things like that, we're coming in contact with people who don't really care about our boundaries. They don't care about our wellness. They are used to saying things, doing things, moving in a certain way. And then that has an impact on us. And then we have to go home and carry that, and it's not fair. It's not fair to your journey and to your walk, to my journey and to my walk, to allow people into my space that do not recognize my boundaries. They don't acknowledge them. And also, if they do acknowledge them, they tiptoe around them, or say little things around. And it's just like, no. I know exactly what you're doing. And so something that I've had to do this year is I've had to put a boundary in place with one of my family members that I was really trying not to have to do that, but I did have to do that. I definitely had to do that. And I think that I have been navigating through that with the most grace and compassion that I can offer. But I think that you can only give grace and compassion so much. I can only accept but so much. I can only deal with so much. Like, we can offer people grace and compassion for where they are on their journey and still choose to be like, I'm just going to leave you over there. Like, I respect where you are and I understand where you are, but that doesn't mean that I have to stand over there with you. Especially if you're not on my type of time, you're not on my type of, and because a lot of us, we can get ego tripped, like, not ego tripped, but we can feel like, oh, well, family is so important. And, like, you can just be tied to just like, titles, like, that's my family, or this is my best friend that I've had for, however many years. And it's just like, yeah, bro, that's cool. But how does this person treat you right now in this moment? How is this person making you feel right now in this moment? Does this person really treat you like a family member? Do they treat you like they care about you, like they love you, like they, like they want to be here for you and with you? Or do they not give a fuck about that? Because if a person is treating you like they don't really care about the title that you're trying to, hold them to, stop holding them to that title. Like, that's just how I feel, bro. And like, I've always operated like that in my life. Like, I will leave so fast, I will cut you off so fast. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't care about no title. I don't care. Because also on the flip side of that, I'm a person who gives chances. I'm a person, like, I can be very gracious and understanding, but again, it's only but so, understanding I can be, it's only but so much I can accept. And so something to do when navigating through these tough relationships is first recognizing your boundaries, because in order for someone to recognize your boundaries, you first have to recognize your boundaries. you know, because something that a good mentor told me was that a lot of times we uphold people to boundaries that they didn't even know that we set. And especially on this healing journey, like as we are pulling back the layers of ourselves and as we are uncovering more about ourselves, about our triggers, about our likes and dislikes and what we want and what we don't want, you know, and how we're changing, some people around us don't even know that we're changing. So first you have to recognize your boundaries, recognize what are your triggers, what are things that you won't compromise on. Like, if you're gonna be in my space, in my sphere, you cannot do these things, you cannot say these things, you cannot be on this type of time, you know. And once you recognize those boundaries, then explaining that, taking the time to explain, taking the time to say, hey, you know what, I'm not really messing with this, I don't really like this, you know. Also taking accountability for maybe a part that you've played in it, you know. Hey, I'm sorry, you know, I realized that when I first established this connection with you, I didn't have no type of boundaries, you know. I realized that as a family member, you know, I just always kind of gave passes and I just accepted things, you know, but I'm not doing that now, you know. So having that conversation, and then once you have that conversation and you establish those boundaries, you now have to stand on those boundaries. And this is where it gets rocky, and this is where it gets complicated, and this is where it gets shaky, because again, like I said, if you're dealing with someone who themselves do not have boundaries for themselves, they don't know about themselves, they're not working on themselves, they, you know, they don't prioritize themselves and things like that, they're gonna be like, how the hell, who do you think you are? You're gonna get a lot. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to be telling me how to treat you? Like, people will literally do that, or people will like tiptoe around it. Like, they may not actually do a thing, but it'll kind of be like backhanded, to where like once you leave, you like, oh wait, what's that? Did they just, like, it's shit like that, you know. And yeah, you can't keep accepting that, you know. And you have to recognize your limit, you have to know your limit, you know. Have you ever been dealing with a dude and, you know, your mama or your grandma would be like, you'll leave him when you get tired? Like, it's that type of energy. It's just like, know your limit, know what you can handle and what you can't handle. And once you reach that point of, yeah, I can't keep dealing with this, bro, I can't keep putting up with this shit, it's just like, okay, now I'm gonna have to cut you off. Now I'm gonna have to stand on that boundary that I set. Now there's consequences for stepping over my boundary. I told you not to cross that line and you crossed that line. You could have just stayed behind the line and been cool, you know, but now you stepped over that line. And now I gotta stand on what I said, you know? So it's that type of thing. Like, you gotta stand on business, you know. You gotta know who you are, you know, especially walking into these spaces with family members who already think a way of you, you know, already have a certain picture in their head of you, or, you know, whatever like that. It's just like, you gotta know who you are, so that way when you walking into these spaces, like, you can't tell me who I am. You can't affect me, you can't rock me, you know. And even if you do rock me, even if you do, you know, kind of have an impact on me, I know how to pull my energy back. You know, I know how to call my energy back, and I know how to remind myself of who the hell I am, because I'm human, you know. We all are. And, you know, you may experience those human ass emotions, you know. You may experience all the feels, bro, but it's just like standing 10 on what you said, knowing who you are, keeping those boundaries up, not engaging in bullshit. Don't engage in the bullshit. People trying to poke at you, you know, fuck with you, poking the bear and shit like that. Don't even fall into it. Walk away. You know, maybe, you know, if you go into a family event, bring a safe person. You know, if you're not in a relationship or anything like that, bring a friend, bring somebody who you know that's around you, that you can trust, that you can lean on, you know, that can kind of be there as your support system, you know, someone that can hold your hand if emotions do kind of get riled up or whatever. So definitely doing stuff like that, and then leaving you know, like leaving, just being like, okay, y'all, I see y'all, you know, I said, hey, I'ma say bye, I'm about to dip out, you know, much respect, much love, much peace, and blessings to y'all. I'm about to go, you know, I'm about to head out, you know. So definitely just leaving, again, if you feel like you're reaching your limit. But yeah, you know, also like recognizing that it's not personal. So oftentimes it feels personal, you know, and maybe on this physical plane, you know, maybe you got beef or, you know, whatever the case may be. But it's really not personal. In the grander scheme of things, bro, in the bigger scheme of things, it's really not personal. Because a lot of times that shit is just people projecting their bullshit onto you. You know, I'm always thinking about, and I'm always being mindful of the space that I came from, right? I think that we should always remind ourselves of who we were when we were not so self-aware. There's people that you probably disrespected, you know, you probably tiptoed over their boundaries and stuff like that. And so you got to recognize that it was never personal. It was just you did not have the awareness to recognize what you were doing. And so again, offering people grace and compassion. Like, I understand why you're saying the things that you're saying. I understand why you're doing the things that you're doing. You know, like, I've been where you've been. You know, even if my life story isn't exactly like yours, you know, I understand. But that don't mean that I have to sit here holding your hand through that shit. That don't mean that I have to be the punching bag and the footstool, and, you know, I don't have to accept that. I don't have to just let you mistreat me and let you, you know, walk all over me in the sake of, oh, you're my family or you're my friend, or, you know, I knew you way back when. Like, no, I don't have to accept that. I don't have to. I'm not obligated to. And I feel like a lot of times we feel an obligation, especially when it comes to family. Like, you feel an obligation, like, damn, this is my blood. Like, I don't want to walk out on my blood. I don't want to cut off my blood. You know, like, I don't want to do these things to people who I grew up with, to people who, you know, like, but it's just like, bro, fuck the title. Fuck the title. Niggas not even standing up to their title. So what I look like? What I look like? So, you know, finding that balance. Knowing, okay, I can deal with this. And then knowing, nah, bro, I can't keep fucking with this shit. You know, I can't keep dealing with this person. Like, no. Standing on what you said, remembering who you are, you know, that is the best way, I feel like, to navigate through these times, through the holidays, you know, dealing with people who we're not that fond of, you know, and that may not be that fond of us, you know, and just accepting that it is what it is. 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 I don't hate you. You know, don't let it be out of hate. Don't let it be out of anger and resentment. Like, truly release it. If you're gonna release somebody, truly release them and be like, you know what, it's no hard feelings. Like, I'm telling you, being understanding and being patient is like top tier. Because and this is someone who was not very understanding. It was not very patient, honey, okay? So, yes, like, when I'm coming on here and I'm telling y'all these things, this is literally because most of the time, in real time, I'm dealing with it. Or it's because I have dealt with it and I'm sharing, you know, the knowledge and the wisdom that I've gained from going through those things. And I'm like, no, like this is my life right now, and this is what I'm going through, and I know that this shit is real, y'all. I know that it's real to have issues with your family and with people that you're close to around the holidays, but remember who you are. Remember what you've come to do. Remember that you deserve the space to heal. You deserve the space to show up as your authentic self and not have to worry about ridicule, not have to worry about people talking shit about you, talking down on you, disrespecting you. You know, like, if you have people like that in your space that are showing blatant disrespect towards you, I'm telling you right now, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to keep people around who don't respect your boundaries. And even if you do choose to keep those people around, realizing that it's okay to love people from a distance. Realize that it is okay to be like, you know, I'm going to check on you here and there or whatever, but I'm going to just back up. It's okay to back up. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to stand on your boundaries. It's okay to do what you need to do in order to make sure that you are well. You know, let me tell you. My ancestors, right? The ones that I knew in this physical reality, this lifetime, they were giving, they were loving, they were caring. But do you know that all of them passed away with health issues? And I think about how, who is there for the person that's there for everybody else? Who is checking on the person that's checking on everybody else? Who's gonna save the person that's sitting there trying to save everybody else? That is one of the biggest takeaways that I took away from my ancestors. And so, you know, I feel like there are some people, you know, that may feel like, oh, that's selfish. Oh, you know, you can't just cut off, you know, your family. You can't just cut off people. You can't just, you know, go in solitude and get yourself right. Like, you know, you got to show up. Like, I'm quick to call my job and take a mental health day. Yeah, I can't come in today. Because let me tell you something, people, these jobs, whatever, when you're really going through some shit, guess who has to pull you out of that? You can have all, you know, the money or whatever the fuck, but when you're going through some shit, like some real shit, some real fucking shit, you have to navigate through that yourself. When I was a shitty person, when I was doing shitty things, guess what? I had to get myself out of that shit. Like, I had to pull myself up out of that shit. I had to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do this no more. That didn't come from people coddling me. That didn't come from people being like, oh, well, you know, you've been through this and you've been through. No. about recognizing who you are and how you are showing up right now today. And if you don't like who you are and how you're showing up, you will do the things necessary to change it. I'm not up here saying I'm perfect. I'm not up here saying, oh, I got the key formula, and if you come around me, you gotta be totally healed. Oh no, because I'm not totally healed, and I'm still, navigating through things and working through things. Again, offering grace and compassion to people. But it's just like, bro, I know where I came from. I know where I came from. I know what I had to navigate through. I know I know the mud that I had to fucking crawl through. So if you're going to come up in my sphere, it's like, yeah, I'm requiring a level of self-awareness. I'm requiring a level of accountability, because that's what I'm going to meet you with. That's how I'm coming to you. I'm not requiring you to do anything that I'm not doing. I'm not requiring you to be nothing that I'm not. So, I feel like that's just the best way to move right now. And that's really just how I've been moving, and how, I've been navigating through this space that I'm in right now, and it can be hard, it can be tough, it can be gut-wrenching, especially when you're coming from a place of being a people pleaser and being the one to just allow yourself to get all, walked all over and pushed into the shadows and stuff. It's like, of course it feels unfamiliar, but, people want to stay in comfortable chaos, and I cannot do that. When you've reached a certain point in your walk and in your healing journey, it's like, I cannot keep allowing this and accepting this. And so this holiday season in 2024, if you're listening to this video, the biggest advice that I'm giving is that do not compromise yourself. Do not sacrifice yourself. You matter too. Your feelings, you matter. Your mental wellness, your holistic wellness matters. And if there are people around you that are expecting or requiring you to compromise all of that for the sake of keeping them comfortable, it's gonna have to be a no. It's gonna have to be, I'll catch you later, or probably never. It's really giving that. So yes, y'all, that is a little life update mixed with some advice, mixed with some, I don't freaking know, okay? But yes, y'all, that's really just what I wanted to come on and say. Those are the two things that I wanted to speak on. I love y'all so much, bro. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening to me. Thank y'all for holding space for me to just say what it is I need to say and get it off of my chest. Thank y'all for being so understanding of, me taking this break and me taking time to just ground back into myself and, try to work through exactly what to say and how to say it, and still being authentic to me and still showing up, as vulnerable as I can, while being on a completely public platform. So yes, y'all, thank you. I love y'all so much, and I will catch y'all in my next video. Peace.